Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger might be forced to leave the African Union. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent and particularly from the Sahel states. Now, let's reason that why these countries might be forced to leave the African Union. Why am I saying at this time? Because right now the African Union is about to have its 37th ordinary summit where the heads of states convene in Addis Ababa, which is the capital city of Africa. Now, this is the annual meeting of the African Union, of the heads of states. In fact, the meeting will start, this annual summit will start from the mid of January until, this time, the mid of February, starting from the ministers, the prime ministers, the executive councils, and finally the heads of states. Now, all countries, the 55 member states, are represented in the African Union, except for these countries. 6 countries will not be represented. Now, these are Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and also Gabon, Sudan, and Guinea. The reason is the alleged coup that was, unfolded in their countries. Sudan is, of course, there's an alleged coup, and then there's a war going on. So these 6 countries are literally banned by the African Union right after the coup happened. Now, most of us Africans, we understand what is going on, particularly in the Sahel states, in these 3 countries, is ironically, it's the very founding principle of the African Union when it was founded, meaning to break that, shackle of neo-colonialism or colonialism at that time. Now they're fighting the neo-colonialism because even if the colonizers or the white people or the Europeans, however, you call them, even if they left physically the continent, but they did not leave, the continent continued to be colonized economically. So that's what we call neo-colonialism, and that's what they are trying to fight. And they have removed that, and this should have been uploaded and or supported by the African Union, not really banned. Now these Sahel states have left ECOWAS, and the next step is I came here and then I said, do not be surprised if these Sahel states leave the African Union, because what has been done is against them is that we are pushing them away. The African Union is pushing them away. ECOWAS is pushing them away. Now that they leave, the ECOWAS has started to beg them, and particularly Bola Tinubu. Most of the countries will establish or will continue their bilateral relation in ECOWAS with these 3 states, and also most of the African states. But they will leave if the African Union do not correct itself. Do not be surprised that if we hear an announcement from the Sahel states that they will leave the African Union, because they have been through a lot. They are fighting the neo-colonialism, and there are a lot of sanctions that has been imposed by ECOWAS, and also meaning the regional bloc, and also the African Union itself, and also the Western nation, the so-called international financial institutions. All this, they are fighting alone. There's no one with them, literally. It's only those countries like the BRICS members or the founding members like Russia, China, and then now there's Iran is stepping in, Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates. These are the countries that are, embracing the Sahel states. Now, when they come and step in there, they set their foot inside these countries, now people will come out and say things. But whereas these are the media, the mainstream media, who did not say nothing when French have been there militarily for a number of decades, actually for half a century, even after they gave the so-called independence. Their militaries have been there. It has continued to colonize the countries, and neither the African Union nor the international media, the Western nation, nobody has said nothing. But now when the Russia troops set their foot inside there to help these countries to fight terrorism and also the neo-colonialism, everybody start to talk about. Now, these countries have been pushed by ECOWAS. In fact, nothing was left for them but to leave ECOWAS. The same thing is happening by the African Union. The African Union could have played the mediator role between ECOWAS and these states when ECOWAS sanctions them as a big brother, as a bigger Pan-African organization, but it did not choose that. It continued banning the countries. And then when the international institution also sanctions them, denies them the loans, the fund and everything, even denies them the basic needs, the African Union did not say nothing. But the very advantage of member states to be a member of the African Union is for countries, instead of having one voice in the United Nations, it is to have that collective voice as an African Union. But that has been denied from them. Now, look, the very ironical thing, another thing is that now their colonizers, the ones that they are fighting, France, and all those European nations will be present in this summit. But these African countries are denied to be a member or to have a chair and to let their voice to be heard to the world, or even to their African brothers having a stage or a platform that has been taken from them. And tell me why they should continue to be a member in the African Union. I'm not advocating for them to quit the African Union, but this is the situation, because if we hear it later on, then we all report it as a news. But I want to make it clear that the road that has been paved so far is nothing but to push these countries out of the African Union, while everybody else, even the non-African states, are being accommodated. Even those who suck our bloods, who take our natural resources, who supply arms and make us fight against our brothers and sisters, have a seat here, have a voice in the African Union. But you deny these states who have the very right, whose ancestors have created and established the African Union, are denied to have a seat. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? If I am not from Burkina Faso, from Mali, or from Niger, I'm an African who happened to be from Ethiopia or born in Ethiopia, but I feel it as an African. I feel it, what it means. And imagine what these countries would feel. Imagine what these leaders who are fighting this on a daily basis would feel when they know that the African Union could have been a voice for them, when they know that this could have been a platform to meet and express what they have felt, what they have gone through, and when this could have been the platform to share their experience. And that has been denied. And very bad, very sad, very shame, embarrassing to the African Union. Really embarrassing. You have the Palestinians and all others, things that don't even concern us. You have the time to listen to them, to come and, to ask you your vote, the African Union vote, the African states, member states vote in the United Nations. For the things that are not African issues, but for the things that are African issues, you are denying the voice to them. And I wonder why none of the African countries will not, those member states who have got a chance to be there are not speaking about this. It will be, trust me, it will be one of the top agendas, discussing about them while they are not there. That's not also proper. That's not also proper. The Sahel states will be one of the top agendas for the African Union to discuss it now in the 37th of the heads of states, the ordinary session at the African Union. But they will not have a voice. They will not be represented. They will not be able to explain what they feel, what they have gone through, what it means when, ECOWAS sanctions them, what it means for them, what it meant for them when the African Union has sanctioned them, what it meant for them when the European Union has sanctioned them, what it meant for them when the so-called international financial institutions has sanctioned them. They will not be able to share this experience. And you are going to speak only a one-sided hearing, maybe from ECOWAS, Bola Tinubu talking about them, or whatever, and you don't hear from. I mean, what is that? Very embarrassing and very shame from the African Union. Another ironical thing is that, do you know what the theme of the African Union for this year? Let me just break that for you. It's called Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality, and relevant learning in Africa. Ironically, this is only being practiced right now by the Sahel states as they remove the colonial language of French from it being as the official language of these nations. They have removed it, and they are giving an African fit education, teaching the African children their nation in their own language, breaking all the shackles from the neo-colonialism, having that sovereignty, a real one, without being, an interference from France. And soon also they are going to leave the currency alliance of CFA and create their own. They have announced that. They are doing everything what the African Union is established for. They are trading amongst each other. They are there to defend each other when a foreign, military invader is coming, or even when a next country from ECOWAS was threatening Niger to invade militarily. They have been there to defend each other. They are doing the most Pan-African things right now in the continent, but they are denied to be a member. We do not want to hear for the African Union to release a statement or to condemn these countries when they announce their quit or their exit from the Union. Because you have done everything to exclude them. And what else is left? You just wanted them to announce the exit from them. That's what you are playing. Just like your colonizers, by the way. And shame really on the African Union. Now, it's really disappointing. Let me just go through your comments and see, if anything that you add here or you raise to discuss it. Good morning, peace and blessings, Imhotep Heru. Shout out from the United States. Shalom, Ted Nance. Shalom to you. Shalom, Achi. Mkar, One United Africa. Yeah, I mean, it seems that they far, but, trust me, with the start of these Sahel states, it cannot be far. It cannot be far. Terrible decision. Yes, very terrible. I'm not talking about the Gabon, the Guinea, and Sudan, but they are also banned, being a member, to have a voice in the African Union. But I'm talking about the three countries because we have been following that on a daily basis. And we know that the revolution that happens there is a real revolution, but we don't know, with Guinea, we are not sure. And it has not joined also the Sahel States Alliance. And Gabon, we know that those are hijacked coups. And then Sudan is, as we know, it's the forgotten conflict, just left alone, with a war, proxy wars. Basically, a proxy war is going on in Sudan. Yeah, so let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this? Don't you think this is really what's going to come? And we all, we all hear all those, we are going to hear all those mainstream media coming and talking about the exit of the Sahel states when it happens. But we should analyze it as it happened. This is what's happening. They should not say it. They should not release a statement. These Sahel states should not release a statement. I mean, we don't need that, because we know this is what's happening. Because AU is practically excluding these countries, and we have to be a voice for them wherever we are, in whatever platform we can. As Connect Africa, we are coming here and sharing our views, because we have been, I'm really happy that this is history in the making. I mean, there are a lot of things, injustice done against these states, but it's also history in the making. And I'm glad and I'm happy, I'm very grateful that I can contribute, I can be a voice for these states in a little platform that I have here. Thank you again, for all of you to be here. Let us know in the comment section, share your view. What do you think of this? It's very, very sad and very embarrassing, really, for the African Union. Hopefully, it will be a courageous person or member state or a leader that will speak for these people, that will speak for these leaders, that will speak for this nation. I really, really hope that. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like what we bring you here, give it thumbs up and share the video with others, so that we can continue to empower each other with information and knowledge. It will help us to be here. Also, if you can donate to our PayPal account, which you can find in the description section. I will also pin it in the comment section. That will mean a lot, and it will help us also to be here more often. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next one. It's a ciao for me for now, and thank you all for being here.